President Carter's presidency saw almost doubling the price of homes in California. That on top of this week's highs and lows, Tuesday, Los Gatos House of the Week, and price reductions. Let's get going here. Normally, I do this in the morning. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon because stuff got busy. All right. Carter's presidency was number one for California. When you look at the numbers from each 4 or 8 years, President Carter saw a huge jump in home values in California. This is after years of massive inflation, torturous home losses, people going broke, and massive layoffs. And hey, guess what? We're in the same throes right here and right now. We're seeing unprecedented inflation, crazy market shifts, talks about employment, unemployment, and different things going on. This is very important and timely. Not a big fan of what Carter did. He was a paper tiger as far as being a president, but I respect him because he held out. He was the oldest living president after the term, but also he was a major player in Habitat for Humanity. And I used to be a pro bono, pro tem broker for Habitat for Humanity. So I think it's a great program, and he did a lot for his country, even though he wasn't that effective in the hostage negotiation. During Carter's 4 years in Oval Office, California home prices jumped. Now, granted, we had the inflation thing going back, but look, if anything is telling you that things, what do we just see the last couple of years? The last 4 years, massive inflation. Doesn't matter who did it. I don't care who you blame. My point is that there is a position here for people to see a doubling almost of their home values all across the nation. If you look here, 2021 to 2004, Bush, he saw 82% in California. In 85 to 88, Ronald Reagan's, this is after Carter, saw a robust economy and 58% higher home prices, and rates dipped 2.2 points to 10.8%. During Obama's reign, we saw 42% home gains, and we were all happy about the 4.2%, right? Joe Biden's term has seen a 33% jump in California prices, but the push for an economic recovery from the pandemic fueled another inflation outbreak, forcing rates to go up. And now we're seeing 6.8. And we don't know if that's going to go down this year. We just don't know. But I'm telling you, figure out how to make it happen, because now is the time to get your butt into real estate. Trump's first term saw 24%, and we saw historic lows of 2.9%. That was because we were in the pandemic and we needed to keep the economy going. Reagan's first term saw 13% and 13% interest rates. Crazy. George H.W., only term prices increased by 12%, and we saw 7.7. Clinton, we saw 7.8. During Obama's first term, we saw 7% depreciation, which that was, I think, the calm bust, and rates were down to 3.5. So there's stuff that we can do to trigger it. This isn't just a myopic view of the economy. This is just part of the GDP. A small portion of it is real estate. It's important to know, but we have technology, medical, healthcare, research, and all these different things are affecting it. This is one of the main drivers. So when you look at the percentage, the rates that we're looking at, we're also looking at business rates, cash flow rates, and personal loan type rates as well. A housing crash, 2008, prompted 18% losses in California, 18. So everybody's telling me, oh, I'm holding out until there's a crash. You only saw 8% loss, $180,000 off of $1 million. It's not a huge crash. If you look over the last 5 years, 4 years, houses are almost, I would say they're close to 80% all through California. So there's another thing that I want you to look at right here is this Fred account right here. All these gray columns are recessions that we saw. There's the pandemic, there's 2008, .com, 1990, 1980. So just remember, what we're looking at here is when recessions happen, prices tend to increase. This is Carter's reign right here. A little dip, but it came right back, and there's that flat lined out. In 2001, prices went up, and 2008, we saw that 18% drop. That's what it was. And now we're here. And people are telling me all throughout the last 5-10 years, I'm going to wait for a crash. Well, if it goes down 18%, you're not getting the great deal you think you're going to get. You might, but you might have to rebuild that house. Enough said. This segment of this episode is brought to you by the Home Inspection Checklist. If you're thinking about selling your house, download this checklist because it will help you get through your honey-do list and anything that's wrong with your house. Get everything repaired, disclose it, and then bring your inspector in, and then you have a nice clean report. Los Gatos House of the Week is this 1905. And the reason why I picked it is because, yes, it's still walking distance to downtown Los Gatos. This is not my listing. It's Palm Ave, 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 2,700 square feet. And I don't think it's built in 1905, but let's go take a look inside. It might have been originally built, but this thing has been remodeled. This is like the Winchester Mystery House of Los Gatos. You can see this low ceilings, very typical of that. So this might have been a ranch house or a farmhouse at one point and then rebuilt. Love that pool. I just did a pool inspection today. Price decrease of the month. Remember, you can attract the market or you can try to be a market maker. This house is valued at around $2.5 million. Other houses in the Almaden area are going $0.3 million and more. But for a standard house, this is a standard house. There's only one picture. That means probably having problems getting into it because there's a tenant that's refusing to move. You can see the schleppy cars. The exterior is beat up, not very well taken care of. It's 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,200 square feet, 7,800 square foot lot. And how old is it? It's 52 years old, so 71. All in all, it's a decent house. What do you know inside? You just don't know. And one picture is not going to sell a house, especially if you're trying to be a market maker. Sitting there, the original list price was $2.875, and it sat on the market 39 days, and I have a feeling it's going to stay there. This house is really worth 1.7 to 1.8. The seller said, nope, I'm not going to sell it. I don't have to sell. I want $2.5 million. I would never have taken that offer. Price reductions. Okay, and then highs and lows. I'm going to go backwards. Most expensive house sold in Santa Clara County is El Monte Avenue in Los Altos. Original list price is 8.5. 17 days it took to sell it for 88 point something percent at $8.3 million. This is a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath for 5,100 square feet and 0.4 of an acre. Not much to look at this house. Pretty standard. For this price, it better look good, better feel good. But you get the difference, right? $8 million for that. Crazy. The lowest sold house, original list price is $915. It sold for $100,000 less. Crazy. This is Main Avenue in Morgan Hill. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Again, not my listing. 1,000 square feet, 124 years old. Let's take a look at this beauty. It's a standard ranch type house, early 1900s. Everything was long and narrow, and there was no hallways. So this is pretty normal for seeing a house like this. You can see that there's an add-on here. So there's storage and entry. Really what you're looking at here is the house, and this is added on shed, attached shed. Or if you're in San Jose, that could be an ADU. The lowest priced home in Santa Clara County is on Loma Chiquita. They just dropped the price to $400,000. The only problem is it takes you an hour to get there. I did the Google Maps from my house, an hour to get there. 2-bedroom, 2 bath. But the good news is this is like a compound. So if you're expecting the zombie apocalypse or an electromagnetic pulse EMP attack, this is a great way to protect your family for $400,000. I feel like I hear the banjos playing in the background. Look at that caravan with the grass growing around it. And then the most expensive house available is La Vida Real, and it's been on market for the longest time. A couple of weeks ago, another one took its place. That one sold, and this one is still at the same original price, 100 days. It's a 5-bedroom, 12 bathrooms, 7 and 5 half baths, and it's a mere 21,000 square feet. It's just crazy, but it's in Los Altos Hills. Wish this was my listing. It's a beautiful house. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Look at this thing. Every nook and cranny, every detail is well thought out.